Okay, I think recording has started. Yeah. So give book count. Okay, so the give book count is a special function I'm writing, and this I've written after define init, right? Init, as I said, it is a private function. Okay, so it cannot be called outside this. Okay, see, when you can't call outside, you can give it a name that has to be, need not be unique, right? So if, okay, so now that you know, when you go out and you meet hundreds of people or many people, that's when we need to have a name, right? You need to have a name which is unique. If it is inside the home, right? If it is just you know, your name can be anything, right? It need not be unique. So that's why all the private variables you see have a fixed name, so that there's a special meaning to it. So doc or main or count, init, these are private. They cannot be accessed outside the class. You know, so you cannot. You know, there is. I mean, you'll have multiple init when you write the program, but since each init belongs to a specific class, there is no name clashing. I can't use two functions with the same name, right? But private way functions I can have, right? Because it is not accessible outside. So in the init, what I've done, I'm increasing the book count so that the moment object is created, okay, this should happen. Okay, now when does init is called? Init is called immediately by itself. We don't have to explicitly call. The moment I say f1 equal to book, init is called. If you want to see, you can put a print statement here. Print I am getting printed in init. Okay, so let's say I write one more function called give book, and I say total print. Okay, total book count is. Okay, then I say, yeah, book.count. Okay, so now let's see. Okay, I comment this out. Okay, I don't delete it out. I don't need it. Okay, now you see. Now if I run this program F5, I created three objects, isn't it? This is how you create object. This is how you create object. You create object using variable name equal to class name. Okay, variable name equal to class name. This is how you create your object. So when I say f1 equal to book, that means I'm creating object called f1, and this object belongs to class book. Okay, I just created, and see, I'm getting called from init. I'm getting printed in init. Okay, this line is in init, and this got printed because this init is automatically called. Okay, when you create an object, init is a function. Okay, in Python, which is automatically called at the time of object creation. At the time of object creation, automatically it is called. Okay, you don't have to call it explicitly. You don't have to call. See, other functions I have to call it. Okay, if I want to print this, display the book count, I will have to say f1 dot f1 dot give book count, right? So when I call it, total book count is 3, right? Total book count is 3. So this is called, okay, after explicitly have to call this function, right? But inits are called automatically. So whatever you do in init is created, is called automatically when object is created. So generally, when you want to give names and you want to assign some values to the object, it is done in the init. Okay. Yes, no?
No, it makes sense.
Okay. Give some response so that I know that yes, my audio is still connected, right? Okay. So this is connected, okay, or this is called, or this is executed at the time of. uh, So generally, what we do is all the assignment, okay, waiver assignment. Let's say when you create a book, you want to give information to book title or book author or book publisher or book page, book. So all these things we give it in the init itself. So let's say I want to. So okay. So two things I told you right yesterday. I told you when you have a class name dot. So there are two options here. You have functions at class level, functions at object level. Functions at sorry, variables at class level, variables at function level. Okay. So what we're doing is we are creating functions at class level. So these functions that you see, it has self, right? So when you have self, it is object level function. Okay. And here I have given book. So book dot book count. So here I'm creating class level function. Okay. So I want you to take a, I'll give you 2 minutes. I want you to modify the same program. Okay. Just modify the same program. In the init, I want you to add few things which you, okay, we are writing about book, right? So few information which is specific to book. I'm not talking about the library, name of the library, number of books, number of chairs, number of members. These are all class level variables. Okay. Book name, book author, those are object level variables because each object will have unique values. Number of author, number of chairs, number of members in the library, these all will be object class level, right? The book count is a class level, so you define it here before init. Okay, all the variables here. Here, okay, you have to say, okay, so you have to pass, let's say, uh, learn Python programming is the book I want to pass. Okay, I want to say author is Saurabh. Okay, I want to say price is 450 rupees. Okay, I want to say number of pages 350. Right. So here, okay, you need to have 1, 2, 3, 4. You need to have 4 variables here. Okay, A, comma B, comma C, comma D, and then you say here self dot title, something like that, equal to A. Okay, self dot author equal to B. Okay, so I want you to write a program now. Okay, just I want init and class book. Okay, just give me these two parts. Here you define all the variables you think is should be class level. Okay, and here you put all the variables that you think should be object level. You can add more, like I just added 4, you can add more. Will you do it? I give you 2 minutes to do that.
Yeah.
Think of all the variables, okay, which you think will be class level and which. So today let's get clarity on class level variables. Tomorrow we'll talk about class level functions. Class functions a little different, little typical, so we'll do it tomorrow. Today let's finish off these two concepts, and we'll also talk about functions when I come back, when we come back from the. Will you do it? Let's try. You can have a class book. Here you define all the class level variables. Here you say init, and you define all the variables that you need, which are object level specific or the book level specific. Okay, so let's do it. You understood what I said, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So let's do it. Okay, it shouldn't take more than 2 3 minutes. If you are done, please send me on the chat. I'll copy and paste it here. You all can see it. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, just give me 1 second.
Sure. You send me whatever you have done, okay? We can fix it together.
I sent you mine in the chat.
Okay. So this is what we have. So let's do it. Okay. Let's do it from scratch. So we have created object and we are passing object. First is title. Okay, we can then we are passing the author name, then we are passing, let's say, publisher. Okay, so let's say I call it as a publisher, and then I'm passing price. Okay, so these are the 4 things I want to save when I create. So when I go here, okay, so I know that it is book count. Okay, book count has to be increased. Maybe I'll put it later. Okay. Put here. So here, what are the values that we are passing? We are passing title. Next one is author. Third one is publisher. So I'm going to say self dot publisher equal to C. And then I'm saying self dot price equal to D. Right? So now I have assigned. So here we have okay 4 variables which are object level. Okay, so when I say 4 variables, these variables will change based on the object. If I call F1, I'll get different answer. If I call F2, I'll get different answer. But class level variables will not change. Okay, so here if I say book count, okay, then I give membership number of members, okay, equal to 0. Okay, and I give number of books, the library. Okay. So anyway, book count will give us the number of books. Okay. That's it. Okay. These are the 2 variables that say we have. Okay. And let it assign it as 100. So let's say you have 100 members. So when I create this, okay, when I run this, okay, of course this will run without a problem. Okay, there's a problem. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. All these also needs variables, right? So F2. So because it is required positional argument, right? So when I define this function in it, of course, self indicates it's a object level, and then you have A, B, C, D, okay, indicating that it is we must pass 4 variables to it, right? So we go here and we pass 4 variables to each of them. Okay, so I can go. Let's say management. Let's say before it has Java program. Let's okay, you can change this to 50, 150, something like that. Okay. So now when I run it, okay, so this init is called because 3 times init got executed, right? So that's why init is called. The moment you create object, okay, the init is called. We know that. So now we can, comment it out. We don't want. Okay. So now if you want to know the book count, total book count, whether I use F1 or I use, okay, so okay, let me put it. So we have 3 objects, right? So either whether I use F1, okay, or F2 or F3, they are going to give me same result. Okay, because it is a class level variable. The book count is a class level. Okay, give book count prints a book count which is class level. So when you talk about class level, whether you're calling from whether you're talking about your dog or my dog or street dog, the class level, sorry, the object, sorry, the class level itself, yeah, the global. So class is global, right? And object is specific to the object. So global level things, okay, will remain same, right? Number of dog population in the whole world doesn't change whether it's my dog or your dog, right? Because that's specific to the class, not specific to the object. So things which are specific to the class will be called. The things which are specific to the class, things which are specific to the class will be called, okay, with same value irrespective of which object you call. The total count, okay, here moment I say book count is going to increase every time an object is executed, every time object is created. Okay, so that's why all 3 is giving us same value. But if I say f1 dot title, okay, f2 dot title, f3 dot f3 dot title, okay, So these are three different set of values. They are not same. Okay, because since we say self dot title is a local to the object. It's for the object. You have defined this inside your house. If you define something like this, book dot, this is for the whole society. Maybe the park that you have in the society is for everyone in the society, right? Whoever lives in the society. It's not individually owned, or neither it is open, open to public. So you're defining who owns what. Self dot indicates it's your personal property, which has to stay in your house. Nobody else can have a claim. So in society, if there are 1,000 people, so 1,000 people will have that much. Let's say if you talk about your study room that your apartment has. If every building has a study room, that study room is object specific, right? Doesn't mean that everybody will have access to your study room. But when you have a special uh, say exercising machine in the park, that is for everyone to use. Nobody can say this is mine, right? So same thing here. This is your object level. So either I call from F1 or F2 or F3, I'll get same result. But here, if I try to print F1, right?
It will give the book name.
It will give the specific book name for F1 and F2, right? Learn Python
Yeah.
programming. So this is because this is what we pass to F1. F2 title is retail management because this is what we passed. Java programming, this is what we passed, right? So these F2 title is different for different object because we have used self dot. When I talk about book dot, these are the variables which will stay. I want to know how many members does this library has. Okay. So if I want to display number of members, right? Print number of membership library has. So how do I get this value?
Members.
Yes, how do I print it here? It is called num underscore members, right? NUM underscore members. So how do I print it here? Num underscore members.
You added like a variable?
Which variable?
F1 dot
F1 dot
Num underscore numbers?
why F1? Why not F2?
can give anything basically. It would so F1
Exactly,
and F2, F3
because
are
num members is a class variable, so you can use anything. Okay, you can use F1 or F2 or F3. Doesn't matter. It will give us same result, which is 100. Yeah, because this is a. You can also, I think, call using class name.